something crazy happened on Tuesday, I believe. um, Rev was doing his live stream, and
Pokerev.
Pokerev, sorry, Pokerev, Nick, aka Nick, was doing his live stream, and somebody was leaking his information, and he had to.
Mm.
From what I heard, I wasn't there live, but from the sources I've heard, like he just shut it down, and yeah, it was getting crazy. I believe some of his mods, like if they were not there at the moment to like handle the situation at the time, and so he just shut it down and try to recover and figure out what was going on. And dang, that's just so unfortunate, and that's not cool. That's just sad, because this man has a family, and this man has also thousands of dollars right behind him in sealed collection and sealed boxes. And so his information leaked out to 4 to 5 thousand people is wow. It's just
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
it puts me on notice too. And there was
Yeah.
another instant, right? In Europe where this guy had a transaction and they met at his house. Little did he know he was manhandled, thrown in a closet, locked, and took out cleared out his whole collection and left
Yeah.
him, right?
Yeah.
I believe they unlocked something where he could get out at the last minute. But imagine if they just didn't, right? Imagine if they locked him in and he was there for weeks.
Yeah. My thing is like, a lot of us talk and take, this whole hobby for granted in the sense of like, oh, it's just Pokemon cards. But like, once you've been in this sort of hobby for quite some time, you amass a huge level of value there, right? Like even 100, like, like it's crazy because like, when you buy $100 card, it's like a big thing, like your first time around. Like you buy $100 card, it's like, wow, that's $100,
Mm.
and then as like the more and more you build up your collection, it's like, oh, $100 isn't really much in terms of like card value, like I wouldn't say desensitized, but it's sort of along the lines of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things where we had to start being a little bit more precautionary about things, buying yourself, a Pelican case, buying yourself a safe, or having a safety deposit box opened up at your bank, or even having collector's insurance is super duper important, right? Because like some of us, like myself, I like to collect things that are outside of Pokemon cards. So it's one of those things that we all have to have. And I mean, even an added measure of security would be, installing cameras.
Right. Yeah. And we just want to bring up that hey, that's a topic that needs to be considered when you're making a trade with somebody, with high profile items. Like even it doesn't matter like really how much it is. Just the attraction, the hype, the attention around it. People are willing to go above and beyond to take your collection too.
Yeah. I mean, like when you look at a card, right? Like you look at a card, I mean, carrying $1,000 is a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But carrying a slab that's worth like a lot of, like if you're carrying around a slab that's worth a lot of money, then it's really easy to steal and really easy to carry. Like it's scary to me sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. And you even went to flew to Texas, right? To
Yeah.
make a huge transaction or a huge trade worth almost six figures, right? Combined.
No. Combined six figures
Combined.
almost. Like, at that time, we were being relatively conservative, with the the value of his, at that time, which is now my first edition Shadowless Charizard card,
Mm-hmm.
and then the 11 cards I took out, we were being relatively conservative at that time because
Mm-hmm.
this was like right when Pokemon was sort of correcting, right?
Mm-hmm.
At that time, a PSA 8 first edition Shadowless Charizard card was going for about $40,000, and then you can go on eBay. It was roughly 35 to 40, so it was within that range.
Mm-hmm.
And then all 11 cards that I had, they were within that range as well. So like we're talking, I'd say like a conservative amount is like between $35 to $38,000. So like when you look at everything all together, you're talking about like close to a third of third of six
So
figures,
60
right?
to
That's a lot of
70.
money.
Yeah.
But I mean it's still a lot of money, right? Like it's scary. I had one of my mods from my Discord who happened to be living in that specific area where the trade was occurring, and he's actually done business before with this other person. And so I just went ahead, rode with him. We met up at a public place and we did the deal. But the thing is that you can never be too safe, right?
Yeah, take every precaution. I even talked to some groups, right? And he's starting to make contracts for trades, like a written agreement, where it's both parties. Both parties are transparent in that transaction. And it also brings a topic that there's a lot of middleman trading
Yeah,
that
I
you
do that
can
too.
find. There's a lot of people in this community that are super reputable. I mean, like, I'm talking about they've been here since the beginning. They have blessings from almost TCA to Rev to anybody in the community. You can trust them because they have that years of knowledge and years of middlemaning to a point where like you can trust them because they aren't going to just throw away their whole life worth of reputation over,
Yeah,
especially when
absolutely.
they've made middlemen for like the most expensive cards in the hobby already. So what's
Right.
the point of them doing something for something so small? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. Like for me personally, like I sent off a so I have an ongoing trade that's going on that I sent off like a few I think a week or two before Christmas, and it was basically my Bluetooth Air Pack, and the trade was for a PSA 8 Reverse Hollow Crystal Ho-Oh from Skyridge. Excuse me, and essentially, I found out today that I mean this pack was supposed to go to the Netherlands, right? I found out today this morning that it's in Brazil's customs, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So tomorrow I will, and the thing is that my middleman is out in the Netherlands because this other person's out in Italy. So we're basically, my middleman is out in the Netherlands. We're trying to get it all there. But like I said, I mean, like when people ask name drop a middleman, it could be literally anyone that has enough reputation, like people who are credible enough to show you like recent recommendations, recent what's the word I'm looking for? Like recent transactions.
Well, yeah, so that was it. We just want to address that situation. Be careful. Have that in mind that these guys will steal your $1,000 card and they won't think twice about it. Take every
Well, not even
precaution.
$1,000 card. It could be anything.
Well, I just want to be conservative. Yeah, even hundreds or like even a small trade, right? Because you don't
Yeah.
know. Like even Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've done it, and like it's like I'm taking my own advice because I just met up with someone like at 9 o'clock at night for like a Charizard, and
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's crazy. I don't want to get locked up. Definitely don't do it at your own address.
Yeah.
like like meet up at a public place. For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
And definitely look into getting collector's insurance because you guys never know. You never really
Yeah,
know, right?
collector's insurance,
Like
correct.
I think that that's super duper important. Go to your bank, get yourself a safety deposit box.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it like at the end of the day, like for you, like even for yourself, like it's such a good thing to have a safety deposit box because like you not only have to have your key, you physically have to go to your bank. Like at my bank, like you like the person who's at the bank, they have their own key, and then I have my own key. They have to open the box at the same time for you to
Simultaneously.
access it. Yeah, I
That's
don't know
cool.
about it simultaneously, but I know that there's essentially two locks there,
Okay, okay.
and it has to open up. And so like I think that's just an
Yeah.
added piece of security. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't go to Shiv's house. His first edition Charizard is not there.
no, it's here right now.
Oh, it's there. So if you want to go, go now.
Yeah, if you want to steal it right now, go ahead. It's right here. I had to take some pretty pictures the other day, so
Ooh,
it's right here.
it's really nice.
Shout out to Charizard King,
And Kanto.
Kanto Shark.
Kanto Shark.
Yeah, Kanto Shark. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have anything to say about as far as security goes, or does anybody in the chat? We're always learning too. So if y'all have any type of
What do you
idea.
do? Like, what do you do in regards to security? Like, what kind of measures and precautions that you take?
So this was definitely an eye opener to me. I feel like I'm so small that like I wasn't worried about it to begin with, and
Not even the amount of inventory that you hold.
no, I wasn't. I'm carrying some smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like I always have smoke on me. So it's like this place is like everybody's happy, like gun happy. So it's like not a lot of things really happen in here, around town. It's because like people are just ready to fire, so nobody wants to mess with anybody. But it
Man,
happens.
no one wants a Yizzy smoke.
No, and I got a dog. You know what I'm saying? Like don't mess with Zuko, bro.
It's a puppy.
He's vicious. Have you seen my? I've been sharing my story. When I tell him to speak, he's like, ah!
Yeah, that's definitely gonna prevent anyone trying to rob you. You know.
I'm telling you. Better be scared now. His attack, how he attacks people is he runs at them and then he falls like this.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic.
But I am. This is definitely eye opener to me, and I'll be taking every precautionary measures that we're talking about and that everybody's saying in the chat too. So for sure, especially with the inventory and how my collection has grown through the past year or two. Of course I got that heat, bruh.